Hello guys and welcome back to the Technical Beast server. Today we want to get some automation going in this new processing plant. I've done a little bit of work since last time. Got some more tanks in here and got these little white ones squidged into the middle of them. They're not as big but they look quite cute, and they're probably for things like liquid and honey and milk and stuff. Not really that important compared to the rest. And I've also added overflows into some of them so that once they get filled up in here, then they go into an external tank, and just for convenience. And oh, what's this thing up here? Well, I've moved all of the copper production. Yes, it is a little bit excessive, and yes, it is a little bit frame rate laggy, but it's awesome. These are 36 magma crucibles, cooking lava all the time, sending it out through tesseracts, and also sending up through these pipes into these centrifuges. And you can see they're making tin, and they're making copper, and they're making tungsten, and they're making the electrum. And all of these are serviced by one router underneath here. Oop, let's get in there. So one router services all of them, which is quite nice. And yes, these transformers are well over the top, I know, but they were simpler to do and they look quite fun. Don't say anything about them. I've only got 250 MVs left. What I want to do today though is add in some more automation. So the MJ is all upgraded, so we're producing around 6,000 MJ per tick, and we've got about 13,000, 12,000 EU per tick to play with left. Now I've talked to Pricey and we want to move his reactor to a new area, and also move the cell production into here. So probably corner off a little space somewhere for him to do that in here. Keep it nice and loaded and just nice and compact. And what I want to do today is set up some of the MJ stuff, so some of the MJ usage stuff. So I want to set up some lasers first of all. Now I was playing with these before, and if you have lasers, this is for the crafting tables for components. If you have them too close to each other, they only go to one little assembly table. They will not do more than one. So I'm thinking I'll do maybe one on each side or one in each corner, a little array of lasers, and then maybe later on in the episode we can find out a way to keep them always stocked up with certain materials, so we can have one always producing a certain circuit and so on. We can program them to whatever we want, and then it will keep producing that circuit until I tell it not to. So I'm really going for some mass production of things so that we can just go to an area of storage and then pick out as much as we want of whatever item we need and go off and build it. I don't want to be sitting around crafting stuff. I want it all bulk produced before that. And in aid of that, I started setting up some things for that, so that in here I've got this one is liquid redstone. So I'd serve some redstone in here. I can have it so that when we do quarrying and stuff, it'll come into it automatically, or a certain ratio of it will. And this side, it's liquid ender pearl. And in here I've got two filled up just for easy dumping in. You send them in and they come back out. Just a quick thing for the moment, I can put that anywhere in the world and we can just have a nice little station to dump them in, and also we can autocraft some and throw them in as well, and they just come out in here. So what have we actually got in here now? We've got liquid redstone, and I've actually sorted out all these tanks so that they all have lots of outputs and inputs, so that I'm not going to have any issues with volumes coming out and going in. Same way all the way through the water. There's lots of them coming out. There's plenty of it going through the system. So we've got liquid ender pearl in here. This one's probably the milk. Honey in the middle probably there. This one's empty. Quite a lot of them are empty at the moment. I'm still allocating them. In here we've got creosote. Probably never need that much, but when they come off of auto steel machines and stuff, I'll probably use it. And got some extra biomass in here. Oh, a little bit of lag there. Think that's lag? Yeah, it's lagging now. And empty, empty, empty. And this one had oil in it. The oil is now all drained into this. So this got 17,000 buckets of oil in. Quite a nice little thing just to have, so that we can just drain it off the system, off the world, wherever we want to, just for a bit of ease. I'll probably move that to the top of here though, and maybe have an outflow at the top going to some refinery things, and then sending it through to another one like here, making fuel. Now, we probably won't use it, or at least not yet, but it'd be nice to have a little stockpile of it if we ever wanted to. So, let me get on with some building. I'm going to first of all put in some lasers first, and then I really want to start my first little bit of rooting around. If you see my single player, then you'll know what I'm talking about, and I'll set them up and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so 4 stations for lasers are set up. Each have 16 lasers each, so they're only giving out 63 MJ per tick. Not very much, but would be good enough for an automatic thing. We can definitely power an awful lot more than that, but the limitation at the moment is diamonds. So including in this whole processing system, doesn't look like much yet, but we'll have whole things to automatically make diamonds, circuits, a whole auto crafting display and everything else. So that's what I'm really going towards. So the next thing I need to do is sort out a sorting system. Now it's going to be probably very similar to my one in my Let's Play, or my single player, but I'm not really sure how many different things we're going to be moving things to, location wise, around the server, how many different things we're autocraft and everything else. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger than my other one, and sort of give it a little bit of leeway in it. Now I'm going to be using mag tubes, which are super fast red power tubes, and they are awesome. I've never really seen any other YouTubers use them, but they should, because they are awesome. So I'm going to do a huge amount of crafting now. It's going to take a little while for me. And then I'm going to pick a little location in here. I'm thinking of just doing maybe a separate thing somewhere else for sorting, like a sort of a control station. Because you don't want to come down here every time you want to resort something, or say that we want to be storing an item and getting rid of something else and that sort of thing. So I'll probably just make something above here somewhere else, and I'll get back to you with some progress. Okay, so it's been quite a while since my last clip, and that's important. It's been about 20 hours, I think, and I'll give you a little show of what I've done. But first of all, so I can catch this just before I can't talk about the time anymore, is these battery boxes. Note that it's not actually moved all the power up to the top yet. It has a power in it, but the internal storage hasn't reached the top yet. And when I put these in last night at the end of last clip, they started charging up and they haven't even reached all the way to the top yet. So that's kind of the scale of how many batteries I have put in. There's probably between 400 and 600. I did not count. I just kept placing them and placing them and made more as I needed. And why not? I could have used wires, but these look far more cool, and I can have them branching out to different levels if I want to, but to be honest, they're just there because it looks cool. Especially as there's more than one way up. It looks nice and cool. So this is the sorting system. It is finished-ish, kind of, and I've been trying to record this one for quite a while actually. When I started trying to record it was actually, the power level was about here, and considering the whole thing took about 20 hours, you can see that's about 3 or 4 hours since I started trying to record. And I don't want to record it the same way as my single player, because I've actually done this in my single player last episode, number 20. So if you're interested in how this works exactly, then go watch that, I do suggest. And this is a sorting machine array going through high-speed mag tubes, and these sorting machines are basically just advanced filters which can color code different lines of things, and they send through stacks instead of a single item. So instead of using managers you can put, maybe if I put 16 signs in there, then only up to 16 signs will be sent through, which is okay, as that's the highest limit of the stack. If I put down 4, then if I put 16 through, 4 would go through there and 12 would go up, which is not what you want. I don't understand why so many people use managers for things on YouTube. They're just not what you want to be using for a sorting system. They're not very reliable, and also if you need a whole stack of an item to go through, so if I put that there, then you would get all of them come through, as a stack can't be more than 64. But that means if you had a stack of everything in here, that's quite a lot of stuff. That means if more expensive stuff, I don't know, say maybe a filter. If you want to filter a filter, sort of filter anyway, then you don't have a whole stack of them in there because you might want them. And then you get on things like iridium. You don't really want to have a stack of iridium in there all the time, so that using one in here acts as a filter and it will send through everything of that. So it's basically far more efficient on that, and also you get a lot more. I think they're about the same space in there actually, but yeah, they're really nice. And they'll send them through to different places. So the same principle as what I had before. This is where it's different to my single player, because before we had a very simplistic version of what I'm doing now, like this. So these filters are just basically all merged into one now, instead of having different ones. And the new ones can do 40 spaces instead of just 9 in each. And these can color code them separately, but not as much as the other one. So basically I've matched up these to the other side, and I haven't connected them yet, but what I've done is just had it so that I can just connect knots straight away. So first of all, the items come in. They come in through tesseracts at the bottom. I've got more than one tesseract going in so that we can have enough stuff going through, so that we can keep up with Exuma's vast quarrying amounts, which is good. So 4 go in. I could do multiple relays on one tesseract, but I'd rather do this. And then in the inside of that, I've got a sorting machine pointing downwards, so that straight away, as soon as the items come through, they get sorted into the bottom bit if they're required, and then be binned. So things like cobble and stuff can get rid of straight away without needing to worry about it. Same as what we did before, but they leave the system a lot quicker, which is quite good for lag. Now, for mag tubes, I'll just explain really quickly. If they're like this, they are a decelerator, or just a connector. If they're like this, then they're an accelerator. The block's called an accelerator though, it's a bit confusing on that, and you need them to go between anything like that. So it connects to a mag tube and then also connects to something else. You can't have a mag tube going straight to one of them or come into one of these, you'd have them in between. Now these ones don't need to be powered, but I'm powering these through them as they're being powered through here. Complicated? Hopefully. And then things get sent through. First ones come through are the normal processing, so things like autocrafting, mace rating and stuff comes through straight away. Trying to keep them in the pipes as short a time as possible, and as they're going fast through them, it's less load on the server overall. Much better than the old system. Oh, yeah, that way. So they'll go through there first, so things like iron will come through, be macerated, come back through as dust, be cooked, come back through as a bar. Now, once they're in that sort of finished state, if they're not required to go anywhere else for any other reason, they'll come through the top into these 5 tesseracts going to the storage system, which at the moment will be the one over there, but we will make a new one and it'll be a bit different. But all the other stuff I can have sorted other places, so not only machines, I can have different areas, so that I set up a little mock B1. I can go to Nathaniel's B's if need be. So you could put something in here and have it sent through automatically, and so on, so that the priority is listed on goal seek algorithm, so that they'll go through the pipes that are needed first. If they're not needed there, it will look for the next ones and so on, and it will go through the nearest one that requires it. That's why they're in a little tube like this. They can go up and be serviced by all of them, as long as you don't have multiple ones on the same level requiring the same thing. So this one had coal in it and this one here had coal in it. They would probably fight, and they might divide equally, I don't know, but depending on how they load them and everything else, they might go only through one. But anyway, these machines will go through each one. Once they're processed, they'll go through to the next layer, which will be sending to areas if need be. And then the next one will go through to storage. And not normal storage, it would be bulk storage. So things like Nikolite, where we have a lot of it. And we might want to keep it for big projects. Things like using tons of it for these. They use a lot of it. A lot of it. I must have used, I don't even know actually, a lot of it anyway. Then we would have it somewhere. So we don't need to store it all at the place up here. We can store it somewhere like a deep storage. Probably have a whole barrel array somewhere for them. And we can fill them up to our heart's content. And if we really don't want it after that, we can then throw them through the binning one, which would be okay. And otherwise, we would have maybe redstone stuff in one, and they'd be sent through to make automatic liquid redstone, which is quite cool. And that's basically it, I believe. Hopefully I've gone through that in enough detail. These charging benches in here are just for the screwdrivers. They're awesome, and these keep going in my inventory. But yeah, that is basically that. Now, I wasn't planning to, but because I tried to shorten this bit a lot, I'm going to go show you. We're going to move these filters over to the new area, and have it so that instead of going through these, They'll go through my system and then come back out through here into these machines. Now these machines will need to be moved to my new area very shortly. I'm still planning out how to make them a lot lag free compared to these. Had a little bit of trouble with some of them though, because routers don't take items out of induction furnaces for some weird reason, whereas they would for things like the rotary macerators. There we are. And these sort of things can be done the same, a lot less laggy than these, but for the moment I can use these from afar and not need to worry about it, and it means I don't have to cable them up for the moment, but I will be able to make a much more efficient way of going in, so this place will be a little bit less laggy to begin with. But yeah, I'm going to move these over now, and I'll be back to you, and we'll see some things flying through those little sorting machines, hopefully. Okay, time for testing. I set up most of the machines. I set up the machines that we have in the processing plant, so things like the macerator, they're set up. The rest of it though is set to just a random block. Now, as long as I don't put that random block in the system, then it will be safe, because that's basically just the same as putting putting one of them in there. It's not going to come through. I hope not anyway. I might have to pick a different block, because I do have some of them. I just picked a random block, and that means those filters will be ignored, and it will go through and only go to the other ones, and then go to the top. So we'll give it a go. We'll just throw in a few things here. Did they go? Ooh, bit lag. Off they went. A little bit of server lag in here. They're going. Throw 3 more things in. Yeah, they're going. It's okay. I think there's a little bit of server lag in this though, making it look a bit slower than it actually is. There it goes. Okay, next test is to turn the quarries back on that were working until I turn them off. So I'm going to be right back, and I'm going to be showing you what it looks like then. Okay, they're on now. I don't know if you would tell the difference. A few things coming through, and the main thing is that if you look down here, you actually see the stuff coming through. You only see it coming through a quarter of the time because there's 4 pipes. There's 2 quarries running at the moment, so you see some things going through. It's hard for even me to see them come through actually. And a few things pop up. So I think we're going to have to look at something a little bit more extreme to test. And I think we're going to have to go and find something we need to do something with. So where we've got all this junk in here, some of this should be reprocessed and come out somewhere else. So what I really want to do is take some of these with me. And if I get my portal gun, it should be in here maybe? Nope, probably back here. What I'm going to do is just dump it straight into the system and see if we can get any of it resorted into a nicer place. You in here? Nope. Well, look for that and I'll be right back with some chests to dump in there. Okay, so we're back, and I've kind of gone and gathered all of those pesky chests that we had laying around the processing plant, and started to make a little bit of tidy up of here as well. I can probably get rid of all of this now, and it'll be nice and safe. And I've placed these all with nice obsidian chests. My preference, but they're just there to basically blanket out. So these are things that come through so far. All the rest should be completely empty. So I'm going to reprocess all of the stuff that was there, also getting rid of a little bit of lag from the crystal chests, and then see what actually comes back. And then through the next few episodes we need to find out what we can do with those things to make them more automatic. And in the end we want this to be all completely empty always, unless a specific item comes through. And let's have a look at this then. All I have to do is change one setting on this little router here, and we should see them fly through. Now it's going to be a huge amount of stuff going through, so hopefully that it can manage it all at once. So it should be extract, and then we go to eject to, we're going to be going north, should be. Yes, no? Okay, yes, that's working fine. So it should be firing through here now. There we are. So I'm going to wait for this all to go. You can see it go through. It's just moving through a stack at a time, Very nice. It's going to go faster than the relay as well. And we'll see what actually ends up in those chests at the end, and see if there's any improvement from all of this. So, I'll see you in a little while. Awesome. It's all moved. All gone. Look, empty chests. Lovely. I can just do this now. What a wonderful feeling. There we are. Go to that. And it's been compacted quite a lot. And I actually resorted it a couple of times. I put another router next to the chests on the other side, and I resorted them again, and kept resorting them until I was happy with what I was putting through. And there's 8 chests worth now. They go up to there. They're not all full either. I'm still taking more stuff out. There's some machine things in here that I actually want for something else. I actually cleared out all of this bit as well. Finally, nice and neat again. Neater anyway. So yeah, even that's included in here as well. So it's a lot more compact than it was. No more chests around here or anything else. Much better. So, that is pretty good progress for today, I think. We've got tanks done, we've got sorting done, we've got power done in here. Next is just put the machines in and start to do some really fun, quirky machines. So they're going to fit things like Diamond Factory in there, I'm going to fit TNT Factory in there and stuff. It could be really cool. But I think let's finish off with showing you something a little bit different. Where are we? We are going this way, and we're going here. Now what I want to show you is what Nathaniel's been working on. So he's been doing bees for quite a while, and he's really been getting into it recently. And we were helping him at the weekend. We made him some of these, but we're helping him with them anyway. And we helped him with a load of mutator blocks and tons of nether stars. So what he was having a problem was that he was very unlucky with his bee breeding. So we said that you can use mutator blocks and you can use nether stars, which I don't think he knew about, but he managed to get that all working very well now. And he did manage to get our radioactive drones, so it should give the radioactive combs, which then gives our uranium. 50% chance of each comb, so about half uranium every comb is really good. So we're going to set up a whole load of them, I believe, and all of these I think may be going to that. This is just general ones maybe. Arid, barren, desolate. Okay, there's all sorts of ones going around here I think, and we're going to do a whole massive load of the uranium ones, and which should be really, really cool. And then once we've got that, we can just pump out those ultimate solar panels and be quite hilarious with that. That's all we're waiting on really, it's just that. And this is Nathaniel's project, so I'm going to show it all off. I'm sure you wouldn't mind me showing this bit. But do check out Nathaniel's channel. He will be linked in the description as always, and I'll link you to his latest video on the bees. So if you're interested in all that, then do check him out, he's really good at it. Much better than I am. I understand the stuff, but I'm just really not into all this bee stuff. It's a bit boring for me, a bit tedious. Now you can get things faster other ways, but these are quite nice for long-term things. So that is it for me today. Hopefully next time we can finish off a huge chunk of the processing center and really get some extra projects going. So I am looking for sort of extra side projects to do. So if you do have any suggestions, I'd love to hear them. And thank you very much for joining me, guys, and I'll see you next time.